Welcome to the Ultimate 180, the podcast for hardworking people like you who are ready for a break, free from exhaustion, and create a life that actually feels good. Let's ditch the fear, relieve the stress, and start changing your life one simple degree at a time. Hey, it's Christina Walker, and welcome back to the Ultimate 180, where we flip what you think you know upside down so you can finally create a life you actually want to live. Today, I am calling out something that's been glamorized for far too long: the side hustle. Now, don't get me wrong, extra income can be a beautiful thing and sometimes it's very necessary. But if your side hustle is sucking the life out of you, if it's keeping you trapped in busy work, constantly grinding and sucking the last of your energy, and moving you further and further away from your actual dreams, then it is time for a serious wake up call. Here's the truth that most people won't tell you. If your hustle is just about money, then you are building your life around exhaustion. And if it's actually about your passion, but you're not treating it like a real business, then you are never going to break free. So today we're going deep because it is time to stop hustling and start building the freedom you say you want. So before we dive in, just a quick favor. If this episode sparks something inside you, whether it's hope, clarity, or even just a nudge to think a little differently, tap that follow button. It helps you stay plugged in and helps someone else who needs to find this message too. And if it's something that really hits home, don't keep it to yourself. Screenshot this episode, share it on social, tag me with your biggest takeaway. I love to see where this lands. And it inspires me even more to do even more. So you want to go deeper than that? Grab my free Stop Working So Hard workbook and join my VIP community. We're doing life-changing work together, and you don't have to do it alone. So all the links are in the show notes. So let's get started as we navigate change together, one degree at a time. Let's do this. So let's get real. Your side hustle might be the very thing killing your dream. If you're tired, stuck, spinning your wheels, then this is your wake-up call today. Here are the 3 brutal truths that you need to hear if you ever want to break free and build the life you actually want. So the first one, let's talk about the money trap, right? Because we all know there are times in life where you just need a little extra. But sometimes that little extra keeps going for way too long. And that's when your side hustle starts to become a detour. So a side hustle for extra cash can feel very smart. And sometimes it really is. It's a very short-term, smart solution. You gotta live, you gotta eat, and you gotta keep a roof over your head, right? But when it goes on a little too long and it's not aligned with your long-term vision for where you see yourself in the future, it becomes a huge distraction instead of a stepping stone. Even though sometimes this feels like, hey, I'm moving in the right direction, I'm making more money, it's not actually what's happening. Because you're trading your time and your energy and your creativity for survival mode thinking. Survival mode thinking, right? And yeah, sometimes we have to survive. But what I'm saying is when this goes on just a little too long and you keep relying on that over and over and over, it sucks your energy away from you. It sucks all your life away from you because now you are focused solely on that survival mode thinking. And you're actually moving yourself away from the freedom of your ultimate life dream. Does that make sense to you? And I'm sure, don't stop right there and say, but I have to have the money. Hold on a minute. I get it. So what do you do? Well, first of all, give yourself a break. Take a moment and say, okay, I've done my stint. Now I need to think of a better solution. And I don't even like to use the word think, because if you've been with me for a while, the word thinks keeps you stuck in here and it closes off your radar. We want your radar to be open to hearing things, opportunities that maybe you are shut off from hearing, right? So I need you to be to think about it like, what do? You need to be open to possibilities that might be different and might be better. And I want you to ask yourself this: is this hustle building momentum toward the life that I really want, or is it just delaying it? Because I'm going to bet if you are doing this just for money, this is really delaying your long-term goals. And this is what gets you stuck in a really bad cycle. You're just going to be stuck even more and more because now so much of your energy goes to your full-time job, and then the rest of your energy gets sucked out of you just doing the side hustle for money. Now, on the flip side of this is number two. If this is actually your passion, right? I am not sure I love that word, passion, but a lot of people talk about passion, like their passion project, their passion life, their passion hobby that they want to make money. Okay, let's just go with that for a minute. So the passion problem is, why love alone, right? The love of whatever this is, why it's not going to set you free. Because obviously doing what you love is great. And I promote that. That is what you should be doing. Your days should be filled with excitement and you should love life. You should love doing your things, right? Without boundaries, without business structure and a real strategy though, you're just working another job with absolutely no benefits. Does that make sense? So if you have zero boundaries, a business structure, a plan, a strategy, you're doing all of this extra work with, like, you're getting no vacation time. You're getting no benefit from it, right? It's not really, if you've been sitting in this a while and it's not moving you out of your job and into the life that you want, I'm going to give you an example right now because I enjoy crocheting. That is one of my grandma hobbies. Yes, I heard that term the other day and I absolutely love it. Not a grandma yet, but I absolutely love it because people, I think, probably think like, why is, like, I don't see Christina sitting there doing crochet, but I do. I do all sorts of things like that. I love my grandma hobbies. And I don't mean to offend anyone that's a grandma out there. You should be proud of that because you know what? It is the most fabulous thing in my life when I get to sit down and I get to craft for myself. So, little side note there. Anyways, so I see a lot of crocheters and they are spending all their free time after work sitting on the couch and they are crocheting for some event that's coming up because they're going to go spend their entire weekend to try and sell the goods that they just spent the entire rest of their energy and time on so that they can move forward. And they sit in that for years. And now if you're doing it as a hobby and you absolutely love it and you're like, I could care less if I get a little money out of it. I love going to these events. I love sitting there. I love talking to people. I love sharing my art. Now that is a completely different situation. Do you see the difference between that situation and the other kind of more desperately like, okay, I got to hurry up and I got to make 100 of these things and because I need to sell them this weekend, and they're just hoping for this life that's going to move them into that full time. But passion without a huge profit is a trap. Because if it's just enough profit and it hasn't moved the needle towards you leaving whatever job or whatever it is you're doing to get your main money, if it hasn't moved the needle, it is a complete trap. And I know that can be really hard to hear. So the reason it's a trap is because you stay emotionally attached. Because remember, this is something that you love. You stay emotionally attached, but the finance of it doesn't work out. And so you just get stuck in this bad romance. It's just like any other relationship. It's not a great relationship. Now, again, if it's just going to be a hobby, then great, keep it a hobby. Don't call it your side hustle because it's just a hobby. And if you're happy with that, stay there. Then you have a beautiful life. But if that is not where you're headed with it, then this is why you are stuck, because you've got a bad romance going on. So, like I said, hobbies are great. keep it as a hobby if that's what you want. But if you want to make it into something full-time, if you want something that brings you freedom, then you need to change your mind, and you need to start treating it. You need to start taking all your actions and treating it like a business. In fact, I know somebody very close to me who realized that he's an author, and maybe I'll get permission next time to say who he is because he's amazing. I'm just going to say it. He's my brother. Anyways, he's an author of fantasy books, and he's been doing it for a long time, very successful. It was, kind of just a hobby, although he kind of wanted it to grow. And one day he realized, he's like, oh my God, I'm not treating it like a business. And that's when things started to change, right? Because it hit him. He's like, oh my God, it's his side hustle. It's his, right? It's just his thing he does when he has time to do it. He spent a lot of weekends and hours and in hope. And then it hit him. Oh, I didn't treat it like a business. So I'll put his link down there too, if you want to check out his books. So number 3. So, and I hate to say this because I don't mean to be offensive, but this is reality. Do you want to be a hustler, or do you want to be free? Because you have to choose. I mean, hustle, boy, I can't talk today. Hustle culture sells you on hard work, right? Think of people like back in the day when they'd show hustlers in the movies, right? It's hard work. So it sells you on hard work culture. And the problem is there's no exit plan to that. There's no exit plan. You will hustle. And then when that hustle is done, you're going to hustle to the next. And the hustle just leads to another hustle. There is zero exit plan of hustling. I know that's harsh, but that is reality. So freedom does not come from more effort. And I know that's really hard for people to understand. And that is why I created my Stop Working So Hard, my guide, because I'm in the whole workshop, everything, because that is such a hard concept. People know, I think somewhere down deep, that is true because we say work smarter, not harder, but nobody shows us how to do it. And I can show you how to do it because it doesn't come from more effort. And I think that should be abundantly clear when you think of all the people out there that make millions and billions of dollars. They are not working harder than you. You're probably working way harder. It comes from clarity, what it is that you want, aligned action, aligning the majority of your actions with those clear set goals, and learning to let go of what looks successful but isn't actually working. That is huge. And I dive deep into this in other episodes and in some of my workshops. So the real question is, do you want to look like a hustler, or do you want to live like you're free? Mango. Because here's the truth. You're either building your dream life or you're building a cage that looks productive. And hustling might feel like progress because usually it's just movement. But freedom comes from movement in the right direction. If your side hustle is draining your energy and distracting you from what really matters, it's not helping you. It's holding you back like a silent thief. The truth is, you don't need another stream of income long term. You need a strategy for freedom. So ask yourself, am I hustling to survive, or am I building something that will set me free? Because only one path leads to the life you actually want. So you need to choose wisely, and it's never too late to change. So thank you so much for joining me. If this episode hit home, tap that follow button and tag me with your biggest takeaway. And if you want to dive deeper, then let's discover what's ultimately possible for you. Grab my free workbook and join the VIP group at the links below or at ultimate180.com. You'll find all my episodes there on Apple, Spotify,